everyone. Welcome to Alpha English Podcast, the place where learning English becomes simple, fun, and powerful.
If you want to speak English with confidence, understand real conversations, and improve faster than ever, you're in the right place.
Every episode, we break down English in the easiest way possible.
So get ready to learn, grow, and level up your English.
Let's start the episode. Okay, so I literally just spent 20 minutes trying to find my keys this morning.
20 minutes? For keys?
I was so tired. I put them in the fridge, Luke. The fridge!
Wait, you said so tired. You didn't even notice you said it.
Said what?
So tired. You used so again, just like everyone does. Just like you probably say very tired 50 times a week.
Oh my God, I did! I do that constantly.
And that is exactly what we're talking about today.
So today, we are talking about 50 powerful English words you can use instead of very.
Which honestly might be one of the most useful episodes we've ever done because very is probably the most overused word in the entire English language.
It really is. And once you learn these alternatives, your English is going to sound so much more natural, so much more confident.
Before we jump in, if this is your first time here, hit subscribe. And if you've been here before, you know what to do. Tap that like button. It genuinely helps more learners find us.
Okay, let's get into it. We're going to go category by category, feelings, size, quality, and give you 5 upgraded words for each one.
Let's start with happiness. Instead of very happy, you can say
Elated.
Elated is that feeling when you get news so good you almost want to jump. She was elated when she got the job offer.
Next one, overjoyed. He was overjoyed to see his family after 2 years abroad. Notice both of these are stronger, more emotional than just very happy.
Then there's ecstatic. That's almost euphoric happiness. The fans were ecstatic when their team won.
Delighted is a little softer, more polite. You'd use it in formal writing. We are delighted to invite you to the ceremony.
And finally, thrilled. I was thrilled when I passed my exam. Quick summary: elated, overjoyed, ecstatic, delighted, thrilled. All better than very happy.
Now let's flip it. Instead of very sad,
Devastated. That's a heavy word, real emotional damage. She was devastated by the news.
heartbroken. That's specifically about loss or love. He was heartbroken after the breakup.
Miserable is more about a general low state. I felt miserable during the flu.
Sorrowful is more literary. You'll see it in books. And dejected is that feeling after disappointment, like losing a game. The team looked dejected after the loss.
Can I say something here?
Of course.
I think about learners who pause this episode, rewind it, and write these words down by hand, even though they could just screenshot it. That's not because they're slow. That's because they actually want the word to live in their memory, not just their note. And that patience, that's the exact thing that separates someone who studies English from someone who actually learns it.
That was beautiful, Luke.
Don't make it weird.
I'm not. Okay, moving on. Next category, size. Instead of very big,
Enormous. The house was enormous. Massive. They built a massive stadium. Colossal, this one's dramatic. Think ancient statues. A colossal wave hit the shore.
immense is more abstract, like immense pressure, immense pain, and gigantic is casual and fun. Kids use this one a lot. That's a gigantic pizza.
And now the opposite. Instead of very small.
Tiny, everyone knows this one already, but it's still better than very small. Minuscule is more formal, more precise. The difference was minuscule.
Microscopic is for something almost invisible. Miniature is for a small version of something bigger, like a miniature model. And petite, that one's usually used for people, especially describing someone's build. She's quite petite.
Quick recap before we continue. Happy, elated, overjoyed, ecstatic, delighted, thrilled, sad, devastated, heartbroken, miserable, sorrowful, dejected, big, enormous, massive, colossal, immense, gigantic, small, tiny, minuscule, microscopic, miniature, petite.
20 words down, 30 to go.
Let's talk quality now, instead of very good.
Excellent, the safest, most common upgrade. Excellent work. Outstanding, a bit stronger, often used for performance. An outstanding performance.
Superb. This one sounds a little more sophisticated. The food was superb. Exceptional. This means genuinely rare, above the normal standard. She has exceptional talent.
And magnificent. That's for something almost breathtaking. The view was magnificent.
Okay, confession time. I actually used magnificent completely wrong once. I told my neighbor his tiny garden gnome was magnificent, and he just stared at me like I was making fun of him.
Oh no.
I panicked and just said, "The gnome. I mean, it's a nice gnome," and walked away.
See, this is exactly why word choice matters. Save magnificent for actual magnificent things, not garden gnomes.
All right, now the opposite. Instead of very bad.
Terrible. The most common one, works almost everywhere. Awful, very similar, slightly more casual. The weather was awful.
Dreadful. A bit more old-fashioned, more British. What dreadful news. Horrendous. Stronger, used for something shocking. The traffic was horrendous.
And atrocious, that's the strongest, almost used for something morally wrong or extremely poor quality. The service was atrocious.
Now let's talk about fear, instead of very scared.
Terrified, the most common. Petrified, that's when fear actually freezes you, like you can't move.
Horrified is more about shock combined with fear, like seeing something disturbing. Panic-stricken is for that sudden, overwhelming fear moment.
And frightened, which is a bit softer, more everyday. The dog looked frightened during the storm.
I want to pause here for a second.
Go ahead.
I think about that learner who whispers the sentence 3 times before saying it normally, just to make sure it sounds right. That's not fear you need to hide. That's actually proof you care about getting it right. And that care turns into fluency. Slowly, one whispered sentence at a time.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, instead of very angry.
Furious, the most common upgrade. She was furious when she found out. Livid, even stronger, almost uncontrollable anger.
Enraged. This is dramatic, often used in stories. The enraged crowd began shouting. Irate, this one's common in customer service contexts. An irate customer called the manager.
And incensed, a more formal, almost literary word for extreme anger. The public was incensed by the decision.
Funny enough, I actually mixed up irate and irrigate once while writing a script.
You did not.
I did. I wrote, "The irrigated customer called to complain and didn't notice until my editor asked me why the customer needed watering."
Luke, that's incredible.
I still think about it sometimes.
Okay, last category. Instead of very beautiful.
Gorgeous, probably the most common, works for people, places, everything. Stunning, this one implies you're almost shocked by the beauty.
Breathtaking, usually used for scenery, views, nature. The mountains were breathtaking. Exquisite, more delicate, often used for art, food, or design.
And ravishing. That one's a bit old-fashioned and romantic, usually used to describe a person. She looked absolutely ravishing.
Okay, let's do our final recap. Quality. Excellent, outstanding, superb, exceptional, magnificent. Bad. Terrible, awful, dreadful, horrendous, atrocious. Scared. Terrified, petrified, horrified, panic-stricken, frightened. Angry, furious, livid, enraged, irate, incensed. Beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, breathtaking, exquisite, ravishing.
That's 50 words, 10 categories, and 0 excuses left to say very again.
Before we close out today, I want to say one more thing.
Go for it.
Sincere. Learning a language isn't a straight line. Some days you'll say very good out of habit, and that's completely fine. I think about learners collecting these words like small stones in a pocket. You don't need to use all 50 tomorrow. You just need one or two to slip naturally into a sentence this week. That's how a vocabulary actually grows. Quietly, one stone at a time, not all at once.
Well said.
So here's your homework. Pick 3 words from today's list, one from each category you found hardest, and try to use them in a real sentence today. Text a friend, write a note, say it out loud.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one, and drop a comment telling us which word surprised you the most.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.